Hey, welcome to the Mission Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Butler, and I'm honored to have with me today Mr. Travis Lutter. Travis Lutter is a fourth-degree black belt under Carlos Machado. Travis is a veteran mixed martial artist who has a stellar record of 10 wins and 6 losses.
That's not accurate.
That is not accurate?
No. It's like it's missing about five of my wins.
Okay.
It's they didn't count the Ultimate Fighter. That's bullshit. Yes. And then I had a couple early fights that aren't on my record.
Right. Okay.
And so it's like, they count all my losses, but they don't count my wins.
But they don't count all the wins. Well, yeah. Hey, Travis, on Welcome to the Mission, we're going to count all the wins. So what are we looking at? 15 wins?
It is about that. Yeah.
Okay. So let's say 15 big wins, 6 losses. And, Travis won the Ultimate Fighter 4 television show, which after winning that show was able to step up and fight pound for pound great Anderson Silva. Mr. Lutter, welcome to the Mission. We're glad to have you. How are you?
Doing great. Nice to see you, Brian.
Yes, sir. Hey, Travis, I know you've been interviewed a lot because, like I said, been on many shows, but how many people interviewing you can actually say they've been punched, kicked, armbar, and submitted and choked by you? How many people can say? I can say that. Who else can say that?
Just you.
Exactly.
So it's like he hasn't had the pleasure of doing any of those things yet. But yes, you've busted me in the face a few times. So
yes, exactly. Well, thank you, sir. I certainly appreciate you joining us. Hey, I try. The goal of this show is to interview high-level producers, high-level people who have achieved great things, and you're certainly one of those people. And it's just it's awesome that I'm able to call you a friend as well. But Travis, let's dive back into the early days, and let's start before you got into jiu-jitsu. You were a college wrestler, is that right?
Yeah, I wrestled in college, high school and college. I got, I got kicked off the team for my grades, of all things. It's like I wasn't the best student. It's like I liked wrestling a lot.
Yeah.
I like going to school at that point in time of my life, and came from my grades, and then it's like it's a long story from there. But yeah, I liked wrestling.
Yeah. So it started with wrestling, and then I'm assuming you got the fever for grappling, and then you went into traditional grappling, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Is that how that worked?
Yeah, it's like it's like the UFC came out in '93, and I was in college, and I remember the first UFC with Roids choking people and not really understanding what he was doing, but decided right there that okay, I have to learn this. And there was 3 places at the time in the United States to do that at. And one of them was Dallas, Texas.
Hey, so, you came to Texas training under Carlos Machado, and then you got into mixed martial arts and actual combat inside the ring. You talked about focusing on fighting. What made you want to do that?
It's like that's the real reason I moved to Texas it's like I just wanted to see how good I could be. And then it's like I competed in jiu-jitsu. I was good at jiu-jitsu, but it's like I really wanted to see how good I was at fighting. Yeah. And it's like about what it was about it wasn't, especially back then there wasn't very much money. It was about just, okay, am I as good as I think I am?
Right.
How good am I? It's like, and I was just trying to find out that answer. And so you just keep winning and trying to do well, and ended up in the UFC, ended up, out of the UFC and then back in the UFC. It was, it was all about trying to, see how good I could be.
Yeah. So it's kind of like the samurai code back then. It wasn't as much about money. Sounds like it was about seeing how good you could be and being that samurai, right?
Yeah, it's like I really just wanted to know, it's like, am I as good as I think I am?
Yeah.
And I got close, it's like I gave Anderson a run, and it would have been nice to win that fight. and prove that I was as good as I thought I was. But
Yeah.
it's like it happens, So it's always the best guy wins. It's like not it's. And I felt like I was the best guy that night, but I wasn't. So he won. Move on.
The thing that I was always impressed. I was impressed about a number of things about you, but one of the things that was really impressive was how calm you always were. And when you mentioned, like Anderson Silva in that fight, and all your fights, when I would watch you, you just seemed like super calm, like it's just another day. You didn't seem to be nervous at all. I mean, were there any butterflies? I mean, you just seemed super calm.
Of course, it's like Anderson Silva was, he was destroying people at that time. Yeah, he'd lost, but it was like, kind of fluky stuff, that flying heel hook and, things like that. Nobody'd really, and you heard the rumors. It's like, Jorge Rivera, who I had fought, talked about fighting him. It's like, and he talked about, hitting him with his very best shot. And Anderson smiling at him, it's like, and going, and he's like, well, fuck, what now?
You're good.
It's like, he talked about Anderson's chin and how hard he hit. He's like, this, is a real deal. And it's like, I felt like I had the skills to do to him that other people didn't. It's like, and I just wanted to go out there and try to show that I could do that.
Yeah,
that's what I tried to do that day.
Yeah. Well, you did. I mean, you took him down, you mounted him, you're raining down punches. Lutter looking to beat Anderson. Do you remember what was going through your head when you were raining down those punches from the mount position?
Yeah, on one of the punches, his eyes rolled back in his head. It's like I'm like, oh fuck, I think he's out. And I hit him again. His eyes pop open. I was like, fuck.
I woke him up.
I was like, I hit him again, and we're moving around, and it's like I lost my balance. A lot of people say I went for an armbar. I wasn't going for an armbar. I lost my balance as he's moving around. He's really long. It's like I never trained with anybody quite that long. It's like, and now I got Kevin, that I train with, so it's a little different. I've learned, dealing with that length is a little bit different.
Yeah.
It's like, and he got away, and we ended up back on our feet, and I took him down again. And it's like, it was just business. It's like, we're just going out there, and I'm going to do my thing, and he's going to do his, and we're going to see who's better. And he ended up winning that fight. He was a better man that night.
Yeah. Hey, Travis, was it, and re-looking at it, I thought maybe some of those elbows were questionable. They came down on you. Do you recall that? And what are your thoughts on that? Was the triangle tight, or was it the elbows? And were they legal?
Triangle. So it's like I was getting out of the triangle, and he started, and I was getting out, and he hit me with the elbows, and I went back in, and I should have kept up, and it was just a mistake. I was trying to get away from the elbows, but what I tapped to was I was going to sleep. I was, it's like, and I really regret not, having that conversation with myself before I went out there, that I was like, okay, let's go to sleep, because I was willing to go to sleep, and that wasn't the problem. It's like I was willing to, to do what I needed to do, but I was like, all of a sudden the thought passed through my head. It's like embarrassing myself, pissing myself, or something like that. Oh, I don't want to be embarrassed. That'd be really, really bad. And then I would have much rather, went to sleep and, had that than that. It's like I've fought triangles longer in the room for no money, and it's like I should have kept fighting that triangle. I was in it for a long time, but it's like it's like the room was starting to go dark, and I should have kept fighting it. It's like I wish I would have, but oh well. It's done. It's over.
After you fought Anderson, you fought Rich Franklin, and you were winning that fight too. How do you feel about that when you were close on that one too?
Man, that was a rough loss too. It's like Rich did a TED talk on fighting, or I don't know exactly what he was talking about, but he talked about our fight. Of that being his most proud of moment in fighting. Is this, it's like, because he was losing. He was, him recovering and surviving that, he was really, really proud of himself in that one. I felt like, I should have pulled on that armbar a lot harder than I did. I thought he was going to have a chance to tap. He turned his thumb down, and that's my kid running up and down the stairs.
All good.
And he turned that thumb down and he got away. I was shocked that, I thought he was going to tap, but I kind of gave him a chance to tap, and I should have jerked it instead of being nice. With that being said, he won the fight. It's like he planned for that, that arm bar. It's like I've done that arm bar in a lot of fights, and he did his homework. And, Matt Hume does a good job coaching, and, he ended up, winning the fight. He got me stopped. And
but and that you fought two of the best middleweight fighters ever. And you were winning. You were beating them.
I did things, it would have been nice to get one of those wins. It's like it would have made me feel better. It's like I would, I didn't fight chumps.
You transitioned really into coaching. You mentioned Kevin Holland, and he mentioned that he is a black belt under you, and so you transitioned into coaching. Well, you've always been coaching. Let's put it that way. But now, focusing from fighting to actually coaching fighters to get. So how was that transition? And, you're still doing that to this day.
Yeah. So for me, it's like the goal was to be the best fighter in the world. And it's like, and I really embraced that and really tried to become the best version of myself that I could be. It's like, I really wanted to be, to be the number one guy, and granted, that's always short-lived. It's like everybody's got an expiration date. Anderson Silva had one. It's like everybody eventually is not who they once were. It's like, and I was aware of that. Stopping fighting was like that changing of, looking in the mirror and figuring out, it's like for years and years and years, I was a fighter. And then it's like, when it stopped, it's like, well, okay, who am I? It's like, and that process was probably 2 years long. Of figure out who I am I. It's like, okay, I'm a dad, I'm a business owner, I'm it's like, this is, I like to ride motorcycles, I'm still that, it's like, but really who am I? So it's like, so I really embraced coaching, and okay, so I'm no longer a world-class athlete. Let's try to become a world-class coach, and that's what I'm focusing on since then. It's like trying to be the version of a coach that I can be. It's like understanding jiu-jitsu. It's like coaching in MMA, doing that sort of thing is what I've really focused on since then for the last 10 years. So that's who I am now. Is that's the hat I wear. I'm a coach. So
and a good one. As we're wrapping up, Travis, and I certainly appreciate your time. Hey, I did want to ask you about, like we said, you fought Anderson Silva, and now he's boxing, and now he's going to fight Jake Paul. What do you think of this fight? Who are you picking, and why?
I'm going to put my money on Anderson Silva. Anderson's looked really good since he's out of the UFC. Anderson, it's like, I don't know what the PED'S situation. I would guess that they're both going to be like, and I think that goes in Anderson's favor. It's like Anderson got busted in the UFC and he never looked the same afterwards. It's like, and I can only assume that he was on the whole time, and it's like, and amazing since he's been out of the UFC without the USADA testing. It's like, I would guess that he's back on. So my money's on Anderson Silva. So it's like, he's been doing this a lot longer than Jake Paul. Now, youth is important. I'm sure Jake hits hard, stuff like that. Anderson looks good, and we'll see. But I Anderson, we'll see.
Yeah. Hey, so since you opened it up, just out of curiosity, I've explained to someone that I had a fight with a person that I know was on steroids before. And it was a hard way for me to go. And he ragdoll me, which normally didn't happen. So when people ask me, I say, no, that makes a difference.
Yeah.
You know, people can say it doesn't or whatever they want to say. What are your thoughts on that? And how rampant do you think that is within the sport?
You know, at the time, I remember, you know, it's like the BJ Penn, you know, he's like, man, you know, there's no, you know, everybody's on steroids. You know, it's like, and I was like, I don't think it's quite that bad. You know, it's like, I know BJ's not, but it's like, you know, I don't think that many guys are, you know, on. But then you saw that happen, and all these guys that were really doing well all of a sudden didn't do well, or they got caught. Guys like Anderson Silva, you know, and it's like, and they got caught, and then it wasn't the same afterwards. I still think that there's guys on and they're getting around the rules. You know, I think that, you know, unfortunately, that's just going to be martial arts. I mean, hell, there for a while they were letting guys with TRT exemptions, you know, fight. You know, it's like, right. You know, and that's unfortunate. That, you know, but it's part of life. You know, it's like I've fought guys that I know are on. You know, it makes it hard. You know, it's like, yeah. I really wanted to know, you know, how good I was. You know, it's like, and I just didn't care at the time. I to this day regret not using myself. So I should have.
Really?
Yeah, without a doubt.
I appreciate that honesty, and yeah. You know, so you regret not using. You feel like that would have definitely helped you and maybe even prevented injury. Is that a reach too far?
No, I think that, you know, that might have saved my neck. Yeah. I think that might have, you know, I think even with the neck, if I would have went on, you know, especially during the TRT days, you know, it's like I could have fought another, you know, few years, you know, and probably would have had a lot of success, made a lot of money. You know, it's like at the end of the day, this to make money. I wasn't doing it for that reason then, but it's like, it's you know, it would have been nice to make more money. It's like, sure. And it's like, and it turned out, you know, it's like, you know, Marvin Vittori, I think has been caught twice. You know, it's like, it's on their website. He's been caught twice. You know, who got caught? Sugar Shane, what's his name? That little
Sean
guy.
O'Malley?
Sean O'Malley. Yes, Sean O'Malley. He's been caught. He's been caught. It's on the website. It's like you go through this list of guys that have been caught, and you know what happens? Absolutely fucking nothing. It's a 6-month suspension, and it goes away. And it's like, and then they gave they give Nick Diaz a fucking 2-year suspension for fucking weed. It's like performance enhancing something, and that's legal now, and everybody's fucking smoking. It's like, got that. It's like, no, it's like we've got these guys who are using, and you guys are just going, oh, this, and there's no press. Nobody's touching it. Nobody wants to talk about it. There's no, you know, nobody's following it. You know, it's like, and this is, you know, it's like, so why wouldn't I? You know, it's like, I was, you know, you know, I could have made money. I would have had a bigger name. I would have, you know, it's like all these things. You know, it would have been to my benefit, my family's benefit, for me to have done that, and it was a mistake. I was, I can say that now. It's like hindsight's 2020. So no, I it's like, you know, I just, you know, never, you know, there was people I trained with that I knew that they were on, and I just never approached them. You know, it's like, and you know, guys that, you know, were good, and it's like, I just never approached them, and never did my thing. I should have in hindsight, you know, went to them and said, hey, you know, it's like, I want to go to the next level too. So, you know.
Wow. Yeah. So, and it's interesting because if you say, hey, you know, take these pills and you're going to become a millionaire, or your shot of becoming a millionaire is much more improved, or don't take them and other people are taking them, you know, that's a hard choice to make.
Well, it's like, you know, what happens, you know, it's like you put me on, and those, you know, we discussed the fights, you know, with Anderson Silva, who I did test positive. It's like, and he looked the exact same as the day that I fought him. It's like his body didn't change. His neck was the same size. His arms were the same size. His chest the same. Looked identical. A little bit older, but that's it.
Yeah.
When he tested positive, I think it'd be silly to think that he wasn't on then. So what happens if I'm on? What if we even what happens? I'm doing my thing, and I hit a little bit harder. I'm a little bit faster. I have a little bit better endurance. What happens? It's like that's a different fight.
Hey Travis, on our way out, I've had the, I don't want to say opportunity because it's not an opportunity, but of course I've had some situations in the street. And I've used Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in the street, and it's always been effective. When you're talking to people, and you mentioned your sales team. Well, this is an opportunity right now. The listeners are listening. Why should they train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and why should they train with you?
They should train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because it works. It's one of the it's that simple. It's like you said, it works. It's like if I go out there and I'm fighting somebody bigger than me or whatever, and I put a chokehold on him, he's going to sleep. It's like, and that's why should they train with me? It's like, if you live close to me, and it's like it's feasible to get to my gym, and yeah, you should definitely train with me. It's like I believe that I run a world-class gym that produces really, really good fighters, and I think that's important. I also have really good environment at my gym, and I think that's important. I think that the difference in between me and everybody else is it's like I think I do it better, and that's the main thing. It's like and come find out.
Yeah, 100%. What's the location address?
It's 6913 Camp Bowie Boulevard, Fort Worth, Texas.
Hey, Mr. Lutter, I certainly appreciate it. And on the way out, I'm going to call you by your nickname. I don't know if you still go by it, but it's Travis the Serial Killer Lutter, because you were calm and you knock them out. So, choke them out. So, I appreciate you, my friend.
Thank you, man. Bye.
Take care. Take care.
Bye.